All of the people in the churches respond to their pastors the way my pastors respond to us. Just a thought. Number 2, leadership development. Now, we do believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. Today, you'll hear reports from the district, the DBMD, Flame, and Wesleyan Bible Institute. All of these are charged with leadership development, training, teaching, mentoring, and giving general oversight to ministerial students and laymen interested in putting more biblical and practical tools in their toolbox. Success University is also playing a large role in developing teamwork and transforming leaders. Approximately 3/4 of our pastors meet monthly for coaching in spiritual, personal, and church development. And let me just say this as an aside. There are now a half a dozen districts across the Wesleyan Church who have come, who have seen, who've met with us and gone home, and now are instituting success universities of their own in some way or another. I think that's a wonderful thing that people come up here to hang out with us for a while. It's really fun. A few years ago, my nephew asked me, "Uncle Paul, what is Success U?" And I answered with an open letter on a blog. Let me share that with you. Dear Ben, recently you Facebooked me and asked about Success University. Instead of a short answer, let me write in this blog, and let's call it a letter to my nephew. Years ago, when I was in Kansas, I wanted to coach or mentor some of my pastors. After hand-selecting 7 guys, I invited them to spend 1 day a month with me. We called these meetings Success University. My plan was to spend 6 hours together, 2 hours on spiritual growth, 2 hours on personal development, and 2 hours on church health. The materials that we used came from my years of reading and listening to CDs. As word spread, more and more pastors wanted to participate. So by year 2, 20 individuals had joined. Results continued to be good. In year 3, 40 pastors were a part of Success University. When I returned to the pastorate, I missed these coaching opportunities. I wondered if Success U would have some positive results on laypersons. I selected a dozen leaders of my church and watched as amazing things took place in their lives. Things that were beyond anything we could have asked or imagined. I took a group of 20-somethings through the same course. Again, life change happened. Now that I'm in the Northeast, Success University is a big part of our efforts to turn churches around. 3 groups of pastors meet every month, and I'm seeing outstanding change take place. I would hasten to add that Success U, Dean, if you turn your phone off, it would be really helpful. I was carrying that around for you. You realize that. It's my mother, yes. And my mother knows I'm in conference today. What is she thinking? Probably calling to tell me to be good when I'm giving this report. Don't you just love smart Alex in the sound booth? Oh, glad I wasn't in the altar call. 3 groups of pastors meet every month, and I'm seeing outstanding change take place. I would hasten to add that Success U is not for everyone. Attitude toward the process makes a big difference. Some get it, some don't. Some will embrace the process and some won't. What makes the difference? I don't know. It's a mystery of life. Now I can hear you asking, what do you study? What materials do you use? I've learned that what we study is not nearly as important as the process we go through. The first hour of each meeting, we share stories of what's happened during the last 30 days in our homes, in our churches, and in our personal lives. Through peer pressure, we're held accountable for moving toward our goals which we set earlier in the year. We discuss the balanced life, finances, health, education, spiritual, family, social, and ministry. We discuss books that we're reading. Some start reading for the first time since college. We go through leadership lessons by people like Maxwell, Warren, and Hybels. We discuss personal development concepts from motivational speakers like Rohn, Tracy, and Whaley. We study church growth systems by Searcy. Most of all, we develop team spirit, encourage risk, and provide an atmosphere of an encouragement to our teammates in the battle. We provide a safe place where one can be real. Ben, it's the most exciting thing I do each month. As my team grows, I'm fulfilled. Watching them succeed is more fun than succeeding myself. I've watched others try similar programs that have not lasted as long or succeeded as well. My gut feeling is that too much emphasis is put on the material and not enough on relationships. You cannot package love, passion, team spirit, and accountability. That all comes from the heart, usually from the heart of a DS or a coach or mentor. This key person, the heart and soul, intuitively understands that this is different from a denominational program that is neatly packaged and arrives in the mail. Ben, there's lots of materials that would work in Success U. However, there are few individuals who bring the experience, passion, and love to a group. A coach or mentor is key. One of the things that I dream of doing in the years ahead is find groups of young leaders like you, spend a day a month pouring into their lives. My experience tells me that SU would impact the lives of these participants both now and throughout the next 50 years. Still growing as a life coach, Uncle Paul. Consulting is another tool for leadership development. Long before I'd heard of Dr. Borden, the consultation process, I wrote these words: realizing that pastors and churches bouncing up against growth barriers often need fresh eyes, the district facilitates consultants to walk alongside through a period of congregational change. All involved, the pastor, the local board, and congregation, grow through the process. Of course, all of you here today have heard the story of how God brought Dr. Paul Borden into my life and the life of this district. Since January 2011, 20 of our churches have gone through what we call the DTP process, the District Transformation Project or process. This includes a 3-month self-study, a weekend consultation, a year of pastoral coaching, and periodic layman training. This year, Turning Point, Ogdensburg, and Niskayuna will be our 21st, 22nd, and 23rd churches to go through the DTP. If your church would like to be included, you can find an application form in the front pocket of your binder. In addition to team building and leadership development, another core of living life at the summit involves church health and multiplication. These district transformation consultations have brought us face to face with what Dr. Borden calls the 7 values. We must implement these as we work to transform old, lifeless churches into healthy, vibrant, life-changing, community-impacting congregations. Value number 1, we must keep a laser focus on the Great Commission. And I'll just say this to you folks, there's a lot of things in the district that we have stopped doing in order that we can keep a laser focus on the main thing, winning people to Jesus Christ. And we will defend that to our death. We believe lost people matter to God, therefore they matter to us. The thing that you'll find around here, if you'll look very far, it's just one more at any cost. That's what they talk about every Sunday, and I'm sure in your church as well. Each congregation is now being held accountable for consistently making new disciples. We believe that the mission of each congregation is to change their community by regularly seeing new disciples come into a redemptive relationship with Jesus Christ. Can you say an amen to that? Amen. That's why we're here. No other reason. Congregations that fail to do this are not only unhealthy, but they're disobedient. However, as congregations implement the mission of reaching the lost regardless of the cost, they discover that help follows. Now, last year in my report, I promised that I would list those who turned in zeros under the person saved column of the annual statistical report. And so I'm going to keep my promise today. There's no reason under the sun to go 12 months and have church or be a church without having at least one person bow to Jesus Christ and invite Him into their heart. Just no reason why that could not happen. Brant Lake, Brookside, Ellington, Hartford, Iglesia Hispania Wesleyana, and Willow all reported no salvations. In addition, 14 of our churches reported no baptisms. I list those as well. Brookdale, Cross Point, Ellington, Hartford, Iglesia Hispania Wesleyana, Springfield, Turning Point, West Shazy, and Willow. Now, each church benefits from new converts and from baptism services. Testimonies from new believers just before they were immersed, following the outline, "This is what I was, Dr. Wood, and this is how I found Jesus, and this is what Jesus is making of me," are very, very powerful. Some of the most powerful services in our churches, when used correctly, are baptism services. I want to address your attention now to the screen and let you see what we're talking about when we talk about baptism services are fantastic.